Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Over Easy. My name is Manny. In case you're new here, welcome back. Hope you are doing well and welcome back to another episode. We're in the full chill vibes today. I'm in my pajamas. I just showered and that's the vibes that you're getting today. Let me just put myself on Do Not Disturb for this pod.
Do that.
Sorry, Siri. I'm on Do Not Disturb. We are ready to go. Okay. Hope you're doing well. Let's start with a rosebud and a thorn, as we usually do for these podcasts. My thorn is that I just recently, just in the last hour, got hit with this sudden wave of exhaustion, tiredness. It's like my midday slump. So I was kind of unmotivated to film this podcast. But I'm here doing it now, which is okay. Let me change the camera angle a little bit. I've been liking keeping the podcast a little more casual, I guess you could say. Not so produced and not so I want you to feel like you're here with me. I don't want to feel like I'm filming and producing. I want this to be a good time. You know what I mean? We're on FaceTime together. That's the vibe that I'm going for. Anyways, so I'm a little bit tired, but that is okay. We'll deal with it. I'm here filming now, so I'm here. My rose and my bud, let me think. My bud is probably that I am playing badminton tomorrow. I recently picked up badminton in the last few weeks, and it's been really fun. Just to, first of all, get into a new sport and not feel pressure to have to be super good, just picking it up for fun, even though there's a little bit of pressure. I'm oh, I want to be able to play against people, and obviously you have to be kind of good for that, but it's been nice that it's no pressure. It's not I'm going to compete or anything like that. It's just weekly badminton. So I play with different people every single week, but I've been playing consistently, which has been actually really nice, and I've definitely improved, which I'm really proud of. My rose is probably that I've had a really good work week this week, which is really nice, obviously. I just love the people that I work with and the customers that we have and the relationships that I have with the people that I work with. So it's been a good time. This week was super fun. Anyways, that is my rosebud and thorn. Keeping it nice and short today because I don't really have that much going on. I just this morning had a counseling session, and it was so funny because I was telling my counselor about all of the Hinge dates that I went on this summer, and it was just an iconic time. Probably my favorite session ever. I'm definitely going to do a Hinge episode probably soon, but I'm just trying to think about when I want to do that. Anyways, let's do an affirmation as we usually do every single week. Do you like some ASMR? I don't even know if that's ASMR. I don't even know if you can hear that. Anyways, let me grab an affirmation card. Oh, I love this one. Be so luminous that everyone is attracted to your light. I think that is what I've been doing this week, honestly. I used to be super concerned about is this email professional enough? Are people gonna take me seriously and stuff like that? But more so this week, I've been having so much fun with my emails and talking to people at work. I'll put emojis in, exclamation marks and all this stuff, and it makes people like you a lot more because you're a lot more personable, I feel, and it's just really fun. So honestly, that's the vibes I'm going for recently, is just be yourself and don't let anyone take you away from that, and have a good time doing it. Okay. I think today is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but that's okay because I actually just got the inspiration and idea for this yesterday. So thank you, Cheris. She really was I have new content for your podcast, and I really am using it for content for the podcast. I actually had a totally different plan this week, but I wasn't really feeling it, and when I heard what she told me yesterday, I was oh yeah, that's actually a pretty good thing to talk about on the podcast. So that's my inspiration for this episode. And as she was telling me her content idea, I just started thinking about it more, and I had another idea as well. So today's episode, as you can probably tell from the title, is two attitudes that have changed my life and my perspective on life a lot. I feel like, we all know mindset is literally everything in life. Like, there's a quote that's like, your reality is just your perception of it. It's not even reality. It's just what your mind perceives, and also what your thoughts are, or your thoughts are your reality. I think that's the quote. But also, like, your reality, or everyone's reality, is totally different. Even if everyone's looking at the same event, we can all recall it and remember it differently, because we all skew things with our own thoughts and biases and perspectives. So, especially this summer, I think I've really honed in on the mindset that the way you think and the way that you face life with a specific attitude really, really changes how your life turns out. So the first one is to have an attitude for gratitude. I know that sounds so cheesy, but gratitude and appreciation. I honestly think this is the most important thing you can learn in life and do in life, because it really did change my outlook on life and also how I take life in. So this was the idea that my friend gave me, which she told me about her real life example, which I'm going to share with you guys. So what she was saying is her and her partner recently started doing this daily ritual where they will both say 3 things that they are grateful for or appreciative of the other person of doing that day, for the other person of doing that day. So they find 3 things that they appreciate about the other person, what they did, maybe how they spent their time, stuff like that. So the example she gave me was like, oh, I appreciate how you spent some time cuddling with me when we got home from dinner, even though you said that you really needed to catch up on some overtime work, you spent a little bit of time cuddling, and I really appreciate that. Or something like, I appreciate how, I'm just making this up on the spot now, I appreciate how you really wanted to go eat sushi, but you were considerate of the fact that I already had sushi the day before, so we decided to go eat Japanese katsu instead. Similar, but a little bit different. And these can range from small to large things. Honestly, I love finding gratitude in the small things in life, because I think it really opens your mind. So this is why I think it's so important, gratitude and appreciation. What we don't realize, if you don't have the mindset for it, you don't realize that actually a lot of good things happen to you every single day. And again, they can range from small things to large things. For example, for me, let me do a real life example right now. Yesterday, I am grateful for meeting so many people at work that I can call in favors for, because we have such a good relationship. I am grateful for I'm grateful for my able body and the fact that it is able to help me exercise and move me places and bring me around the world. And I'm also grateful for my own private space, my room, to where I can be alone, be by myself, and just relax if I need to. So those are 3 things that I'm grateful for. And they're not huge. And some of them are with other people, and some of them are just things that happen. You could also be like, I'm so grateful that it was sunny today because it made me in a really good mood. So why I think gratitude is so important is because good things do happen to us every single day, whether you realize it or not. And I do really think that having this mindset of looking for the good things really, really keeps your mind trained on looking for the good things in life and not always focusing on the negative. That was actually one thing that my friend said. From doing this exercise with her and her partner, they both found that they were actively looking for positive things to say about each other instead of always focusing on the negative. And I really think that is what gratitude does for you. it also shows you how much you already have in your life and how much you have to be grateful for. Like for me, when I start my gratitude lists, it is so easy for me to list out like bam, bam, bam. These are all the things that I'm grateful for, because you realize like, wow, every part of my life is actually so great and I am really grateful for that. And of course, sometimes we're in a place in life where it's not always as positive. Like maybe you're in an era of life where you are stuck in a job that you don't love and you are just making ends meet and you are kind of struggling. Of course, there are always times like that, and it's kind of ignorant to be like, oh, well, just focus on the positive. But I do think that those kinds of stepping stones also help you to be grateful in the future, or you can be grateful right now. So for example, I could say, I'm so grateful, like when I was living alone, like I'm so grateful that I was able to afford living alone, and looking back on when I was living at home with my family and how draining that was for me, I was so grateful to be able to be in this place in life right now. Or in the future, when you look back at this tough era, you can be like, I'm so grateful that that tough era taught me so many lessons and built me to be who I was, built me stronger, helped me grow, and now I'm in a better place because of it. So that's my first suggestion or mindset and attitude that I found really, really helped me with just making my life a little bit more positive and happy and a good time. So if you are looking to create a new habit, honestly, just every single day, write down one thing you're grateful for. You can be on your phone app, you can write it in like notes, in a journal, in your planner, wherever you want, or just thinking about it every single night before you go to bed, before you turn off the lights. That I think is a great practice, and it is something that has really helped me, and I'm sure a lot of people. My second attitude that I recently took on in my life is an attitude of abundance. So it's the belief that there is a lot in this universe. I think growing up, I was kind of trained on the idea that I was trained on the scarcity mindset, partially because, yes, growing up, my parents were not as fortunate as they are now, or not fortunate, what's the word? Like, they just didn't have as much as they have now. So we literally were in a scarcity mindset. Like I wasn't able to buy an iPod Touch and all the things that I wanted from the store because we just couldn't afford that. But I think even growing out of that phase, when my parents did start having enough, I still had that scarcity mindset. For example, with applying to colleges, believing that, one person in my grade, if they got into that school, that meant I didn't have a chance to get into my school that I wanted to. Or believing that there were very limited opportunities. Like if, for example, I wanted to be a student leader and someone else got it, that meant I couldn't have it. And while in the present day, in like the literal sense, that may be true. Like, let's say you're running for student body president and there is only one role and only one person can get it. I truly believe that despite that, if you have an attitude of abundance, there are better opportunities that'll be coming your way in the future and you just don't realize it. But you're just so focused on the fact that you didn't get this particular one, for example, student body president, and then you just believe that there are no opportunities left for you. When in fact, if you keep your mind open and believe that there are always opportunities coming and better things coming for you, there are better opportunities coming. They'll just look a little bit different. I'm trying to think of an example right now. I mean, one obvious one, going back to the college decisions, was I didn't get into some colleges that I really wanted to. For example, I thought I really wanted to go to USC in my senior year. And I didn't get in, and I was like really bummed, but different opportunities presented themselves in my life. For example, I got into UBC, and that ended up being a great experience. I got rejected from jobs that I wanted in the past, but all that has led me to the new opportunities that I have now. So I think if you keep your mind open and truly believe that there are always things coming for you, then that is what will happen. Because again, our mind looks for things that we believe, right? I think there's this, I can't remember what it's called, but our mind is naturally trained to just look for things that we are aware of or we are thinking of. For example, I used to drive a Volkswagen Tiguan, and before the Volkswagen Tiguan, when I didn't drive yet, I never really noticed it. I only noticed like what my parents drove and stuff like that. But as soon as I started driving a Volkswagen Tiguan, I saw them everywhere because I was just naturally thinking about it all the time because that was the car that I drove. Which is crazy. It just shows you that your mind is just always constantly looking and thinking of the things that you believe. So if you believe that there are many, many opportunities for you out there, better things coming for you out there all the time, then those will naturally present themselves because that is what your mind is looking for. And that doesn't have to only apply to opportunities, like for example, jobs or student body president roles or whatever you want it. It can apply to money. It can apply to good luck. It can apply to people you have in your life. Like, you just need to have an attitude of abundance. I think we're always so trained on an attitude of like a scarce mindset that we always act out of fear. We always act out of competition with other people. But when we switch to an abundance mindset, believing that there are good things that can happen to you and your friends, like that doesn't mean like one or the other, it's one and the other, then good things will truly happen to everyone, and you and all the opportunities that you dream of will be presented to you. And that's that. So yeah, today's episode is going to be a lot shorter, mostly because I kind of want to take a nap, but I probably won't. Anyways, those are two mindsets that really, really have helped me. And these are things that I actively use on a daily basis, is an attitude for gratitude and an attitude of abundance. I think those are really, really important to have in your heart and in your mind. So if you're struggling with maybe believing that life is not going your way, or there are things that you want to improve on, or things that you can't control, these two mindsets I think have really, really helped me. I think one more thing I will add about the attitude of abundance is it really does help with rejection as well, because you stop seeing rejection as like a closed door, and instead you see rejection as redirection. You see it as, oh, this opportunity wasn't meant for me, but that means there's going to be many more coming my way that are. This one just wasn't suited for me at the time. Maybe I don't realize it, or maybe I will realize it in the future. But there are other opportunities that are well suited for me and better suited for me that are coming my way, and I just have to believe that. For example, when I got rejected from USC, then all my university admissions did start coming in from UBC and U of T and Ryerson and stuff like that. Life will bring you on a crazy journey, and it really is just about how we interpret it and how we believe. And I think I will leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it was very short and sweet, but again, having fun with my podcast. Today's episode was a little bit more out of the blue. I kind of thought of it last night, obviously, when I was talking with my friend. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next week. Bye.
And I was like, yo.